gates to the truck. We have a gate on the manifold going to the hot pipe, and we have another gate on the manifold going to the atmosphere, or screamer pipe. So right now we're going through and we are seeing what they do. We've done a couple baseline runs, and we just did a run with just the screamer gate, and we actually picked up a little power in this relatively large compound set. So it's pretty interesting.
Right, really quick, give us a quick rundown of the turbos here. I can tell you right here. So we've got a 480, we've got this 106 millimeter DT55 variant. There's a gate right there, the atmosphere.
I have to get really close so I can barely hear it.
All right, gate right here, close atmosphere. And we got the turbo smart gate that's going into the hot pipe underneath there. All right, guys, I had super crooked, but we're about to do our first dyno pull, so hang tight. Okay, we're good. Oh. So that's the regulator, the sense regulator to the top of the wastegate to keep it closed.
Correct, and so more pressure means it's going to stay closed longer. I just backed off about 20 pounds of air, so it's going to open about 20 pounds sooner, theoretically.
Cool, let's do it. Guys, I saw some fire coming out of the gate, so we know the wastegate opened. Let's see what power it made. All right, tell us what power to make, Myer.
So 1743. Our base run that we did was 1728. So we did pick up a little bit over that, but the last run with a little less gate made a little bit more power. We were up to 1759. So we'll look at the data and see what if it makes sense with what happened. Oh wow, dude. 76 pounds of boost, 85 pounds of drive. So we lost a little bit of boost. No, we lost we were from 80.
How much boost did you lose?
So here, at this point right here, where we made peak power, we went from 81 to 76. Boost, our drive went from 103 to 85. That boost to drive ratio is insane.
So just a little atmosphere gate really helped to boost the drive ratio.
We lost a little bit of power.
That's what we found on my 12 valve. Remember, we lost a little bit of power, but huge.
No, so this is over the last setting. If we go to from the original, like the baseline, we actually picked up a little bit of power. So this is ultimately, the two runs are no gate and too much gate. We're only about 19 horsepower ahead, so we made 19 horsepower more. Boost went from 82.5 to 76. Drive went from 113 to 85. Holy crap.
That's like 30 pounds of drive you lost.
Yeah.
For 5 or 6 pounds of boost. 4 or 5 pounds of boost. And power went up. Yeah. What did the AFR do to get richer or leaner with that move?
I don't even have AFR pulled up right now. Let's look. Dude, there's so many things going on the screen. It got richer right there at the end, but otherwise it was pretty similar. Let's a weird dip. I don't know if that's legit. That might be me messing it up.
Further back in the run, what does it look like at like 4,700 RPM? 4250, 4500
right there. They're both 1.05.
Doesn't it diverge, go back a little lower, like 40? Yeah, right in there.
Right here, it got richer. It was 117 with no gate and 114 with the gate.
So that's 3% richer with the gate open, which you would think, because it lost a little boost. But it made more power because the pumping losses went away.
Yeah, really. The gate was opening at 50.7 pounds of drive is where it started to open, looks like.
All right, so tell us, what are we going to do next?
I feel like we know that that's too much gate. We could go through and fine tune this. I think that's good enough data for what I want to know. Now we're going to close this
in
gate.
selfie mode.
Oh, thank you. Now we're going to close this gate, the screamer going to the atmosphere, and we're going to put loosen up the gate that goes to the hot pipe so we get that thing gating and see what that does to horsepower. That's where I really hope there's some gains.
So by screamer, you're going to close the atmosphere gate that you just opened, and now just dump the excess exhaust into the hot pipe to feed the big turbo and see what happens.
Yep, and we're just going to see what that does. That might stuff it a little early, I don't know. But I think that's where the real gains are going to happen, is that guy, because if we can lean on that bigger charger, we should be able to make a lot more power. Maybe.
All right, let's do it. All right, guys, you heard it here. How's my hat today? A little crooked? All right. All right, we got time for a couple questions real quick while they're getting the truck ready. So let's go first. MF repair first. Yeehaw, Melvin. Myer needs to put a helmet on. Josh, you should be in bed. You're in California. Hey, Josh commented and said you need to put a helmet on.
I know. It's in my truck.
Hey, I do have a question for you, Myer. If you hit 2K fuel only and Josh is watching live,
what?
And Josh is watching live and you hit 2K fuel only, is he going to congratulate you or is he going to come beat you?
That means that he'll be a better friend than I was when he hit 2K. So I was on my couch doing nothing.
All right, couple more comments. Ghetto fog it. There are nitrous solenoids on here, so if we hooked up a bottle, we could fog it. Well, there's no jets, there's just solenoids right there. But there's no jets or anything in it yet, so probably not going to ghetto fog it. The Cummins sounds mean. It does sound mean. Degree of confidence between mechanical injection versus computer injection. Which one is better and why is it mechanical? That's a good question. I would say for cost of building a truck, mechanical injection is cheaper. As far as making fuel only horsepower, at least on the chassis dyno, man, that is hard to compete with. That's a lot of power. We've never, other than like big 16mm injection pump stuff that Todd's done, never seen that kind of horsepower in the dyno fuel only. We can get, a couple hundred less than that, but that's tough to compete with there. I'm on the East Coast working nights, making my shift a lot better. Sounds good, Black Sheep. Good luck at work. We're working too, technically, because we never stop working at Power Driven. Or we're playing, either way. According to my wife and Myer's wife, we're at work working, all right? So, don't confuse us. All right, we got Shad on the water here. And Shad, you don't work here anymore. You're just hanging out as a good buddy.
It's always fun to come and hang out, do dyno stuff. It's always a good time.
Sweet. Watering down the intercooler. Got to get the radiator cooled so we can get the engine oil cool. So I'd say in, how long till the next run?
Very shortly, like 2 minutes.
2 minutes. All right, guys, 2 minutes to the next run. Remember, we're going to open the wastegate that bypasses around the S480 and the high pressure turbo on the manifold. It sucks exhaust, or it opens exhaust around that big turbo and feeds the even bigger turbo, that 106 millimeter G57. So we'll see what happens. I personally think it's going to pick up some power, but maybe not. We'll see. Josh is live, horse trucks. I gotta show him. You see this beautiful pipe? There's a TIG weld there. Oh yeah. Look at that. This is an old Wastegate pipe. We don't know who welded that. Oh yeah. Now look at this weld here. A lot of people will say that Will Terry welded that. I did not weld that pipe, but maybe somebody could fess up to that weld. Wasn't me though. Okay, let's do the run. What's so funny?
Have you ever seen a fifth wall break inside of a fourth wall break?
What? Inception? No way. Look at that. Whoa. Okay, let's do this. Okay, Borky's Fab. What housing is on the manifold charger? Borky's Fab, that is a non-divided, started as a 115 AR, and it's probably about like a 130 AR undivided T6 housing. Something that we have special here at Power Driven Diesel. We had made for compound turbos, but Myer left it on there because it picked up a little bit of power. All right, here we go. That was not WTF Fab, Josh. Okay, let me zoom in a little tighter here for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna hide behind the dumpster. All right, let's see how much power it made. Same tune, guys. All right, so this was the same tune, just gating into the hot pipe.
Didn't really do much.
Didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
1734 horsepower, 39.
Make sure the gate's open and everything. We're gonna compare it next to our base. So that's our baseline, should be right there. I don't think it opened. That's crazy. I guess I need to go looser.
Yeah, because there's pressure on the back side of the gate, so it's going not in atmosphere.
Yeah.
So you need just spring pressure on it, maybe?
Yeah, we might have to take out.
Okay, so explain really quick to the camera.
So because the gate, because the gate has manifold pressure trying to open it, but it also has hot pipe pressure trying to close it. And when we set it, we kind of guessed what the hot pipe pressure was. But, wait, I flip this thing around. Our hot pipe pressure is considerably higher than we thought. It's actually 56. So that's pounds of pressure in the hot pipe. So that's really helping close the gate or keep it closed. And so I'm gonna have to
It might not even open with just spring
Yeah,
pressure.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna go wide open and see what happens, really.
All right.
So here.
Well, let's get it cooled off. So next up, no regulated pressure to the top of the wastegate hat. We'll see what happens. But it does have like a 35 PSI spring in it. Oh, it sounds like a rod knock.
Ain't nothing to be worried about.
Cast piston wonder here. I told you should have MIG welded that brace to that screamer pipe.
Middle two, yeah. Then you can switch in with the.
Are you guys turning on the fans? Hey, how do I see what your oil temp is? You have to push the screen up arrows or something?
I'm not sure.
Hey, Myer.
How do you think the, how do you go back to the one?
All right, up down arrows. That was my guess, but. All right, oil temp.
Very bottom there, 145.
145. So we like to get the oil. We like to get the oil to 130 for consistency. So the oil is cool. There's a factory oil cooler built in on like right where the oil filter housing is, and it runs coolant through a little heat exchanger there. So by them kind of super cool in the radiator, it's putting cooler water across that oil cooler, and it drops the oil temp. So check it out here. We're at 145. All right. It hasn't hardly moved, so it's going to be a minute. Let's do some comments. All right, guys, you're going to see my ugly face for a little bit. All right. Let's go back up here. That weld looks like horsepower. That is true. Man, I need to start getting into diesel. I've always loved the sound of a Cummins. Very true.
Dude, it's crazy.
Horse
I've
first.
never been in a truck with a screamer before. It definitely changes the sound a lot.
Josh said, I always root for my friends. I'll be stoked if Myer makes 2K on fuel.
Nice.
Sweet.
I never.
What
really
size are the turbos? Jagger wrenching.
It is a It is a PDD 480 with a Pulsar G57. It's a 106.
So it's 106 millimeter in the atmosphere, feeding an 80 millimeter on the manifold. A regular, be similar to a Borg Warner 480, but it's a power driven version one that has a billet wheel, different housing on it, different bearing cartridge.
Yeah.
But physically it fits in the footprint of like a typical 475. All right. Josh said he'll be stoked and he's starting diesels. Yep. That weld looks like horsepower. Very true. And then Josh fessed up to that, his weld. We had to get ready for a race. Hello from Port Hedland, Western Australia. Love how clean this truck runs. You guys got your injection tech down pat. I think that's a combination of
That's DDP and your boy.
DDP injectors and Myer tuning it himself.
Really, we're just taking the cheat code. Like, we start bringing in fuel because we're not like trying to actually make a torque window. We're just trying to like hit power at up high. We're just slowly ramping that fuel in. So it's kind of like a cheat code. Like if you're drag racing, you need it to come up faster than that. So that same strategy wouldn't apply. But for here, it works great. It makes it clean and it keeps the heat out of it.
Repeatable numbers too,
Yeah.
makes it very easy to repeat.
Yep.
All right. Porky Fab, will be interesting to see what the divided 115 would do to the power band with the recirc gate opening up.
I would also be very curious. We have another test housing on the way, and once we get that, it's gonna be a tighter undivided. And then once we do that, we might go through the round of testing again. So what's also something nice about it, normally like when it was my motor, I didn't want to beat on it and blow it up. This one is a test motor, so it's built to test and see how many pulls we can freaking do at 1700 horse before it blows up. So it's like basically free engines.
Perks of working here, you get free engines if you're willing to put in the labor and install it.
To be fair, it was your block. Everything else was still mine. So I'm still like risking the fact that I'm gonna blow up everything else.
If he blows it up, we'll help him out, don't you worry. All right.
I need that, someone screen record this.
They do 100-foot drags in Rigby, Idaho, in town on the 12th of July. I'd love to see you guys come and smoke some of these cars. Dude, that sounds like a blast. When I was a kid, my parents used to live in Rigby, so I'm familiar with that town. Is that a field block, Black Sheep? No, that is an OEM cast wet block, but we're keeping the torque out of it. He's not even making 2,000 foot-pounds of torque. So, tow truck numbers around here. It is still risky, but at the same time, reasonably low risk to make power at 5,000 RPM on an OEM block. All right, here we go. About to do another run. Never mind, I see the rad. Yep. What's the rail pressure? Josh, I'll get you in just a sec. Myer's about to do a run. Any chance we see Duramax cylinder head pour in PDD? Clayton, 100%. I've already started on it, so it is coming. Hit the wrong button, guys. Here we go. All right. Oh, Myer got his helmet on.
I did.
Safety first. Oh, she picked up a little power. 1755.
Yeah, so in the atmosphere did the most, but let's see. It may have not opened enough. I bet we need to pull some springs out of that stupid gate.
Probably have to pull. If you add more fuel, you won't have to.
That's an option.
Give her some more sauce.
Gosh, I know you'd want that. Yeah, I mean,
In case you guys missed it, made 1755.
barely open. Look at that. It went from 115 to 111 and boost.
So it dropped 4 pounds of drive total.
Yeah, and boost dropped the PSI.
What did the interstage drive go to? Did it go up a little?
Interstage drive went down, down like half a PSI. Interstage boost went up half a PSI. So really, we just need to gate way harder. It looks like it's separated right
that
there.
the Turbo Smart or the JGS
That's
gate?
the Turbo Smart.
So you gotta pull that apart.
Yeah.
Or do you want to just try a bigger tune
I think
and leave it just
I want
like
more-
it?
I want
Is it
the data.
unplugged? There's nothing on it.
Yeah, there's no more to go. So I think I need to pull it apart. The gate, I mean, the horsepower starts to diverge kind of like right here, so it's opening at 73 pounds of boost, and we're hitting on 80. Like, we just don't have. We need to open it way harder. I mean, I could try to put pressure to the bottom. I don't have it tapped. I don't have a way of doing that.
Oh, there's no way to put boost to the bottom? Because
I could put an air compressor to the bottom and just feed it a static amount. But I feel like I want to take springs out. I want to do something I can repeat. You know what I mean?
Well, you could just put like 10 pounds regulated at the bottom.
I know, but like then the moment I come off the dyno,
It might
I
creep
lose it.
open though.
Yeah. I feel like getting rid of, there's that shorter spring in there. I can just get rid of that. See what that does.
So you want to take the gate apart, you think?
I feel like that's the right answer.
Tell the people what you're going to do. They need to know.
Gosh.
There's only 69 people live. Last time we had 200, but it was earlier in the
Add
night.
10 pounds of boost to the bottom of the gate. That's what Josh just said to do. I don't know if you read it.
If
that's
you
why.
run it from boost, then it only comes in when the boost is there, so it's less likely to blow open.
So if the problem is the bottom of the gate is 16th NPT, and I don't have any fittings for that. I could. Let me look and see what we can do. That's what we need to do.
I would have never thought that that'd be too much spring.
Yeah, well, it's 56 interstage, and it's only got 60 pounds. If it's a 45-pound spring, it's got 15 pounds of opening. Like, and that's if it's a 45, and that's like if everything works out perfectly. Like, yeah, I mean, we could have mapped it out and told ourselves.
So we didn't think about the interstage pressure.
Well, I didn't know it was going to be that high. When I did it,
yeah,
I
we
kind
never
of assumed.
logged it before. We had no idea what the interstage pressure was.
So we are going to figure out a way to make it open sooner. Let's see what our options are. What the fitting bin can supply.
I'll bring you along. That's why we call this guy the farmer, because he can jerry rig anything. All right, we got to take some springs.
How many runs was that like 6? Is that a record, Chris Patterson? I don't know. Never shutting off the truck.
Wait, how many runs was that? We did 2, 3 off camera, and 3 on camera, right? Or is that 2?
Yeah. No, it's 4 on camera.
Yeah, 4 on camera.
7.
So that's 7 runs.
He's like 6. I mean, his were like substantially higher horsepower.
I mean, his were like 22 to 21 to 2300 horse.
15 minutes time span. Same.
Aren't you guys running the same piston? Cast ones out of the used parts bin?
I mean, I think his are new.
That has to sound like you're taking a leak. All right, guys. Let me read some comments here. All right. Josh want to know what the rail pressure is at. Myer is at 180 MPa? 210 MPa. So all of it, right? Not quite all of it, 210. So Clayton Winslow, yes, we're working on Duramax head porting. Degree of confidence you hiring. We are always hiring. Send your application to jobs@powerdrivendiesel.com. From a former employee.
It's a good place to work. You get to do a lot of fun things and have a good time.
Wow. You'd almost think I paid him to say that.
What?
I was like asking a former employee how it is for that power doing. That's ballsy movie.
Ballsy movie. Hey, we didn't fire Shad. He left because he found a better job in Alaska. Apparently, guys, if you're wondering, you can get paid well to go work out of state. Right?
It is true. You might get locked out in like an old storage unit or something.
Back when Shad worked here, he worked out of a storage unit welding. Poor guy. All right. I got you, Myer. I'm a witness of the free engine. Okay. Katrina sang. Let her rip. I don't know if that was Katrina or if that was her boyfriend, but if it was Katrina, congrats. You like trucks? But I'm suspicious. Please keep doing these. I love them. Coleman Preston, big fan. Longtime follower and customer. Congrats, Josh, on the UCC win. Josh, you got a fan. Horse Torque says add 10 PSI on the gate. We already read that. Is that what you're working on potentially there?
I'm working on it. I think I'm just going to plumb it into my current situation. So we got some fittings here. I just need to glue some fittings together. I think we're going to get.
All right, for all the Ram guys, I wish they never stopped putting the MV5600 trans behind these trucks. I want to build an express van or box truck for business. Some people think the MV5600 was a mistake, honestly, because they're very expensive.
I wish that they'd build a real manual transmission and put it behind the Cummins. That'd be dope.
A real manual? Like
manual.
a full body, full manual valve body auto?
No, I mean, I do.
With a clutch,
Manual
so that people can feel like a man?
Manual transmissions have a place. I wish that, because every transmission has its own little quirks. They just like put their heads together and like combine all of them. It could be a stout transmission.
Hey, Katrina Sang is real. She said, good to see safety first on the dyno.
That's what happened.
With some smiley face emojis. Emojis? How do you say emojis?
Images.
Emojis? All right. But misspelled safety.
It's the pocket.
Comp Ted. You can hit your head on the cage and hurt yourself bad.
Dude, I did on the way in. It was terrible.
Coleman Preston, 1 a.m. here in Texas Panhandle, going strong. Dude, we are just getting started, fellas. But there's only 63 people watching, so maybe not. Inner spring should be 10 PSI is what Josh said, or outer.
Okay, well, we'll just work with this and we'll try to backwards calculate when we get off the dyno. So we kind of replicate it. And if I have to put it back on the dyno and dial it back in, it's not a big deal.
Coleman Preston says, I have clipped a 1/4 to half coil on the spring before in a pinch. Got me about 1.5 pounds. All right.
The problem I'm having is the gate is very hot. I prefer not to.
Melvin Wiley, what turbos is Myer running in his tow truck? So he has a PDD 480.
So my tow truck has a factory, power-driven drop-in replacement, and then it has.
So it's a VGT turbo.
It's a PDD Aggressor 480 on the atmosphere.
So it's a VGT turbo fed by a 480. So the same as this small one that's on the manifold, that's the atmosphere turbo on the tow truck. And it is north of 1,000 horsepower, pushing maybe even
more torque than the racetrack.
It makes more torque than this truck has so far on a wet block.
I mean, the engines are basically identical, other than.
Oh, here's a question. Maybe Josh could start helping field these questions. Injector question: can you run an 03, 04.5 injector in a 05 to 07 5.9 Cummins? I know this answer. Absolutely, you can. However, the spray pattern is not technically correct, and so it will haze more.
Actually, I don't know, dude. I've had such terrible luck with how much those trucks haze. Like,
I mean,
I don't think the wrong injector can make it worse.
05 to 07 is 128 pattern and sprays the center of the piston, and the fuel goes out. 03, 04.5 is 148 degree roughly nozzle and sprays the, depends on the exact year, sprays the outside of the bowl and curls in. 143 if it's a marine. There's a bunch of them in between there. But you can technically run it with tuning, right? Without tuning, it'd probably work. It just haze.
Without tuning, I think it'd be pretty terrible because you're spraying it as if it's not gonna go in the bowl, but it is.
Side note: as a data nerd myself, we have a fellow data nerd in the house. Love all the info you guys share. Thanks for pushing the limits and share what has worked and even the failures.
I need to figure out how to.
Thanks, Porky Fab. Tim77, shout out to Josh. I'm basing most of my build off of advice from him. All right, Bruce Block is here.
Our favorite guy.
Dude, you're in the Midwest. Can't believe you're awake. I normally always see most power with the manifold gated to interstage.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping to do.
That's the hope.
Everything would open.
The gate would open. Emerald Coast overlanding. Now, I hope that's not Florida Emerald Coast. That's a long ways. Shrooms and watching this. Life's great, people. He might think he's on the Emerald Coast of Florida. He might really be in Oregon, eating and picking those mushrooms wild. I hear they grow wild there. 206 in New Jersey. Dang. Spicy Ticey, Alberta, Canada. Aren't you supposed to be at Alberta Diesel Days tomorrow? 1206. I don't know what that means. Unless you're saying that's your guess on horsepower or what time it is. I don't know why Alberta would be different than here. Oh, that's why, because you're at the same time zone as us. I'm dumb. New Brunswick, Canada. BC, Canada. Yes, you can. You just need a good tuner. See, Josh answered. Just tweak the timing. I just used Chat GPT to tune my truck. That's what Milo is crazy said. Sounds like a crazy. You should ask Chat GPT to write you a Crazy Larry tune. See if Chat GPT even knows which tuning platform had the Crazy Larry tunes. I'll tell you, they came out of Idaho. That's your hint.
Dude, there is so many AFC live lines in this truck right now. Way too many for a common rail. 1,
Spicy
2,
Ticey.
3,
I've built my 04.5 around Josh's videos, even though he hates the S464.
7, 8.
I don't know what Myer's doing. I'm just answering questions. Burnout on the scooter. You know, there are some fast scooters here. That is not one of them.
I mean, you might. like in the water, you might be able to like kind of
Little
lean
water
it up.
box action?
Yeah, a little water box action.
Stay tuned.
Adam WKJ SBN. I agree that manuals have their place, but would much rather drive with one than what Mopar put in these trucks. Still would take the MV 4500, 5600 over the Dodge Auto, but that's why Allison is better.
I don't know.
Dude, those are fighting words around here. Allison suck balls.
Fighting words, sir. Watch yourself.
You brought out the swear words. I said, that's right, suck balls. Allisons are terrible. They're very robust and clunky and heavy, but a full manual valve body Dodge Auto is king. That's why they swapped them into fast Duramaxes and fast Fords.
Depends on what you're doing. I like anything else.
Allison's a fine transmission,
that's
though.
approximately 15 pounds underneath.
All right.
Gonna work? I don't know. It actually works out pretty good because it has full pressure trying to hold it closed.
Oh, so you're not... How did you get into that port? Did you find a...
Well, it had a hose. Oh, actually, crap. Good point. I have an open.
Yeah, you have an open port right there.
Open port right there. I need to swap a plug. Top to bottom. That's a good thought.
Somebody's got to keep the peace around here. 210 in Ohio. Yes, Trent. Okay. I don't know if it's Bruce or Brian Block. I just call you B Block. If you get more gating to atmosphere, I would say the way your gate is dumbing back in is causing turbulence or messing with the turbine exducer of the manifold charger.
Scoochy, scoochy.
He said if you get more gating to atmosphere, I would say the way your gate is dumping back in is causing turbulence or messing with the turbine exducer of the manifold charger.
It's possible. It's 45ing in. It's not like super terrible. You can't hardly see it.
Of the manifold charger. How is that gate messing with the manifold charger?
It's like messing with turbulence, I guess maybe in the.
I don't know.
Oh, is he saying in the...
Like,
is he thinking in the... Where you're gating out of the manifold, maybe?
I don't know.
Those are the gate ports that came on this Steed 3000, so we're going to use them because we're lazy.
I'm sure they're...
But it's something to test in the future. Crazy Larry was the sauce back in the day. Josh, you're aging yourself. You should know what crazy... Oh, there you go. Bully Dog, Crazy Larry. That's a throwback. Allison is terrible. Josh agrees. I still own one.
At least his is a 6-speed.
Lyle, Allison is fine till 500 horsepower. Is Myer going to Truck Fest?
I don't know what truck fest.
Guy Smith, which Truck Fest are we talking about?
California Truck Fest? Is that the one?
Are we talking California, like the Cisco? Oh, that's Cisco Diesel Fest.
That's
Southwest Truck Fest already happened. There's an event tomorrow, but I don't think that's called Truck Fest.
Yeah, that's Whitney Diesel Fest.
All right, BC Block. We have over 200K on our ASIN at work, yanking 30 to 40K daily. Dang. It is Brian. Okay. Brian Block.
I'm gonna water this wastegate really quick. Fix this problem.
I just remember Ryan's name from the forums back in the day. In fact, he used to be on DTR, I think, making those big, him and Stomp, a couple of other guys making big power back in the day. There's a dyno event in Jerome, Idaho in August. I'm planning on getting my truck on the dyno. Any chance you guys will be there? Jerome, Idaho in August, Myer.
So,
is that during the NHRDA race in Billings, Montana?
I don't think so. On those further away events, I'm down to go, but the payouts have to be enough to pay for fuel. It's kind of my thing.
So if the payouts are enough to pay for a chance to win your fuel money back, usually Myer's on board. Like tomorrow, there's an event and the payout's not big enough to cover fuel cost.
Yeah,
so
we're doing our own diesel dyno event right now.
We're doing a live dyno event for y'all. All right, Katrina saying, the next trend in the drag world is ZF HP 8-speed auto. Would consider going this route. I know the Hellcat guys like that, but I got to be honest, the ZF HP 8-speed, that's never been behind a big torquey diesel. What's the new ZF they're putting behind the Cummins though?
That's the ZF.
That is, it is a ZF8 as well? Oh, all right. You might be onto something then. Oh, Whitley tomorrow. Yeah, we're not going to the Whitley, I guess technically today. You're right, Guy Smith. No, Myer was going to go to the Whitley Dyno event, but the payouts are not enough to even cover fuel if he won. And there's only one purse that we heard for just highest horsepower. And without nitrous, there isn't a chance. Let's be honest, you shouldn't be spraying 2K plus on a OEM cast block, cast piston engine anyway. So instead of going to the event, Myer decided to save his fuel money and use it to make some fun dyno runs tonight.
Big money.
I'm not going because I'm going out of town for the 4th of July holiday. Sorry. I remember him from Comp D. Yes, Josh, it does look good. Daily Driven Dyno Day. That's the one in Jerome.
Yeah, no, I love those guys. I'll probably be there.
Myer said he had a lot of fun. You and Josh went to that event, right?
No, different event. But those guys are cool, so I'd love to support their event.
KTA Cummins was Brian Block's name on the forums. I remember KTA Cummins. All right.
Yeah. So let's just take a moment because there's so many hoses going on in this vehicle. I want to talk about what all we're watching.
Do you want a selfie screen here?
No, I want a shell.
Oh damn, VE royalty here. See, nobody knew that was who KTA, who BC Block is. He needs to start using his forum name as his YouTube name, and people be like, "Oh, this guy's
I got
legit.
you.
I know who
So,
he is."
the dyno, we use a Mustang dyno, and it records a lot. It has a lot of channels to be able to record different things, and so we've got a couple of things set up here. We've got boost, which we're measuring in the intake horn right there. That's that one hose wandering off. We got drive pressure, which is using this stainless line right there. It goes and plugs into right there, and then again, this hose goes off to the dyno. We have interstage boost pressure, which comes off the turbo right here. Once again, heads off to the dyno. We've got interstage drive pressure here. We've got it tapped into the housing right there. I did that pretty last minute. But now we're watching the pressure going in the hot pipe. Again, monitored by the dyno. We've got EGTs, again, in the manifold, going off to the dyno. And we have AFR. It's an AFR sensor right there going off to the dyno. That's one thing like pretty awesome about these Mustangs is that you can hook all this crap up and then it gets overlaid on the dyno screen. And really I'm just procrastinating because I don't want a dyno again. But yeah, so that's how we have all that stuff on the screen itself, letting us compare runs and seeing how, you know, drive pressure and stuff changes. And since it's right here on the dyno screen, it's really convenient.
So what's all this mess here?
It's a lot of
1,
things going.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of sensors.
Sure is. Okay, here you go.
Okay, do it. All right, 42 minutes in. We've only done 3 runs. Come on.
Yeah, Chris Patterson would be ashamed. I thought it was
4. Oh yeah, we've done 4 runs.
42 minutes. That's not bad. I mean, we're doing pretty good.
All right, we have 74 people watching. We're slowly gaining. I don't know why. They must be interested in what you're doing. We're watching a farmer spray water on his radiator. How interesting. All right, guys, for real, though, we are just about to do a run. We're putting more wastegate around that 480 into that big atmosphere charger. Hopefully it picks up some power. Make sure you turn the dyno on. It would suck to miss this run.
It's going to blow. Don't treat it like that.
All right. And since you can't see that gate when it dumps, because it's dumping into the pipe, I'll come to the safe side behind the dumpster here. See, trash dumpster, safety first. Comment below, do you guys like it zoomed out, or do you want me to zoom in on the truck? Myer, I got $72 after winning 6 classes at Idaho Truck Invasion. Full manual 48 RE is the TH400 of the diesel world. Very much. Just after midnight in Alaska. All right, zoom in a little bit for you guys. went through the run pretty fast. All right. Computer says
Lost power.
we lost power.
I mean, a little bit.
There you go, 17 AT.
Yeah.
So you gate too much into that atmosphere charger at that tune level and you lost
I
power.
might have snuffed it like it couldn't take it. Like it.
She might have snuffed. Get this a little closer here.
Wow. Drive way down. Did I not hit, did it gate out of the, feel the screamer, is it hot? Like really hot? Like don't.
Lost a bunch of drive. Did it gate out of here? No, it's cold. So nothing came out of there. Yeah, that's hot. 1712, so it lost like 30 horsepower, 20, 30 horse. So, we lost power, gating too much. Did it slow everything down? Did the overall boost drop and everything?
Look at.
I'll zoom in a little tighter on the screen so you can see what's going on
So,
here.
overall boost, it was down to 72. That did more than the external gate.
Wow.
It dropped it to 72. Interstage was up to 35. Drive pressure went from 114 to 81.
So you lost 20 plus 14, so 34, 33 pounds of drive pressure gating all into that big turbo.
Wow.
So that wouldn't make you think that the housing is too tight on that atmosphere charger on that G57 knockoff.
Interstage drive pressure went down to 50.
Interstage boost went down too?
No. Interstage boost went up to 35. Interstage drive pressure went down from 55 to 50. Oh yeah.
Why would it go down?
Dude, I don't know. So this is at 5,000 RPM, guys.
Do you need to zoom back a little bit?
Oh, where's Josh one? Hey, Josh.
It's like the audio sucks, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we need to gate it less. That's my next step. Well, I have pressure, so we did zero pressure to the gate, and so now that wasn't enough. So I put pressure to the gate, to the bottom of the gate, and that was too little.
Did you call Daddy or did Daddy call you?
Daddy called me. He's like walking me through here. So we're gonna just put a little bit less into the bottom and see what that does. I think I'm fine.
Kyle Biazio, too soon, Junior. Kyle, love it. Make sure you troll Myer. He's fun to troll. Let's do some comments real quick, guys. Brian needs more fuel. Yes, he is conservative. We can put a lot more fuel in. I think it's at 1700 microseconds, so I think he's put 1900 or so through these injectors before just fine. I think he probably could go 2200 microseconds to really get some more fuel in there. And yeah, Brian, it is clean. You saw the AFR a couple of those times you look. I think it's like 1.13, so it's 13% lean, so really light on the AFR. What tuning platform do you prefer, HP MM3 or EFI Live? Tim, on this model, this 06 849 ECM, most guys prefer the EFI Live. That's what Myer's using. HP's really good on the gasser stuff. They seem to be putting more R&D into unlocking more platforms. I wouldn't be surprised if in the future HP starts taking over. MM3 seems to work well on the older trucks, 03, 04, 05, 06, and then some of the newer 6.7s, MM3 is decent on. Jess Hodder, great video, thanks guys. I'm looking to get an AFC Live from 98 12 valve, stock timing, stock turbo, R/11s. Do you think 425 single disc clutch would hold? If you get like that organic woven one that like Valere and South Bend, I've held, they start slipping about 450 horsepower. So it'll hold for a while, but eventually it's going to get tired. But that's only if you're at full power all the time. You can turn down the AFC Live, so that'd be fine. Porky Scrap, does the Haltech log factory sensors through the OBD also? I don't think so, but let me ask Myer real quick. Does your Haltech log any factory sensors through OBD, or is it not connected?
No, I'm using the EFI for that. I believe it can do it via the CAN bus. I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't even tried.
So all the sensors on the Haltech are standalone sensors.
Yeah.
Okay. 1700, that's only 1200 more than my 7.3. My 1700 is a lot more than a lot of people's trucks make, mine included. I don't own a single vehicle that has made 1700 on our dyno. 16 and some change with nitrous is my best, so 17's solid. Spicy, that keyboard screams danger to manifold. Jess Hodder, have you dynoed a similar setup to mine and seen what the numbers are? We dynoed so many setups, Jess, like honestly, man. I think 360 the tire is very doable with those parts, though. We'll just put it at that. Got the master Josh on the horn, Katrina saying. All right. Kyle. Tyler was on phone with him for like an hour before this video. Josh, don't be a hater. Of course, you guys can find out in the comments. This is the internet. I have an early 04 in the Smarty Touch. Can't wait to start learning how to tune. Decent platform. Was just telling Will. We're responding. Sorry, bruh. Just giving you hell. Needs a T4 manifold. No, I've done 2K on a T6 with fuel. Definitely a solid number. Just rousting. I think we just need to convince Myer to put some more fuel in it and the power will go up. Right now, though, he doesn't want to change the tune because he's trying to learn what is available with the wastegates at this power level. Just because it's a good, safe level, he feels like he can do repeatedly, not really lean on it. When we get up around 2K is where it's going to get a little more dicey on the engine.
What's going on?
Josh and Kyle had a fake fight about who was more important because who called who first. And you were talking to somebody earlier for an hour. And anyway, but they worked out their differences. And
That's
they just
good.
razzed
That's
each other.
good.
The consensus is you need to add more fuel. Brian Block's like, you need more fuel. I think you need more fuel.
Everyone just says, I want to get the gates closer before we like blow this shit high, sky high.
So what's the, do you just make a change on the
I'm
gate?
gonna probably turn it out. I want to try turning it out a turn. That should be approximately 10 psi. It was opening at 30 psi. Like that was with the boost and drive that I opened at. So if I can get it to open at 10 pounds less than that, or more than that, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how much pressure that is exactly. It's supposed to be approximately 15, but I could be wrong. That's just based on one turn per 10 psi, and that's not perfect. So
we just got to get the oil cooled off and we're ready to roll.
yeah, it's close.
Let's check the folks. Oil temp is 126. We are gold. 126. We just changing the pressure that's opening the gate a little bit. Back off the pressure. We're opening the gate later. All right, 65 people. We're about to see another dyno pull. Here, can you hold this for 1 second? I'm just gonna put my muffs fell off. I can do that. If I hold it between my legs, it's weird. All right. Helmet's going back on. Safety first.
Oh, I knocked it over.
I think I kicked it. All right, back behind my dumpster we go. Get a little tighter here. whipping that dyno, boys and girls. 1752.
We picked it back up, but barely.
That's close to the best it's done so far tonight, right?
Yeah.
So it's in the realm. 1752.
Drive is, it's really, what's crazy is it's dropping drive a bunch and boost a bunch going around the, like, gating to atmosphere had better characteristics just based on this alone, but I don't know. Like we went from, here, let's do 5,000 RPM. We went from 82 to 76, drive went from 114 to 89. It's funny because going to atmosphere dropped overall less. Like it dropped drive, it dropped the boost less with the same drive drop. That's like completely backwards. My brains can't comprehend what's happening. See what AFR is doing.
See if it's getting more or less oxygen in the cylinder, or through the motor, I guess you could say. Let's see what AFR is, guys.
It's richer, and then it's about the same. Right here, it's 0.0.
It's a little richer when the gate starts opening.
It's actually richer. It's actually richer. It's 0.07 instead of 0.05. So when the gate's opening, it's richer, and then when it makes more power, it's leaner. Interesting. I wonder.
So it is somehow getting that turbo to put more oxygen in the cylinder. Total. Because that's 2%. I know it looks small in the thing, but you got to realize you're scaled. Every 0.01 is a percent. That's a lot.
So, what is the play now?
What?
So what is the play now? Oh, dude, I'm terrible at this. Thank you.
What is the what?
What is the play? What are we doing now? It's crazy to me how much drive is dropping, but power's doing nothing. And not that I think power should do something, but it's like, wow.
I mean, I think we could play all night at this power level, and at some point,
interstage went up from the last run. So let's compare it to the last run where we gated too much. Drive was higher because we gated less. So right there, 5,000. Total boost is up to 76 from 72. Interstage is up to 36 from 35. EGT is lower.
Is EGT lower?
Yeah. Drive pressure is 89 from 81. It's crazy. It's like not the result I expected. But maybe like this is, I don't want to say this is all you get with this fuel, but maybe it is. But no, it should be. We should be able to get more. I'm just surprised.
I mean, we don't have baselines with higher fuel quantity, but at this point, let's say that you magically get this perfectly tuned and it picks up another 10 horsepower. That could be 5 more pulls. Is that really going to teach us anything?
I mean,
if we're safe to be at 1850, let's get a new PB tonight at least. Is it 1850, 1890? What do you need to get a PB?
I don't know. What I was trying to do is learn about gates today, and it's cool that they both, that the screamer pipe works way better than I expected, but the hop pipe one is working different. I would expect it to have done more, I guess.
The screamer pipe works better than expected, but it makes me happy because I have a screamer pipe on my truck, and I don't want to have to plumb that back into the hot pipe.
Makes your life easy for sure. It's surprising to me. I wonder, because we're not like we're snuffing it. It's not like it's like not able to come up. It's coming up. It's making boost.
I mean, it's making 35 pounds of boost interstage. That's not nothing.
Yeah. What are people saying here? BC block. Kyle says, what did Big Turbo make? Big Turbo, right here at 5,000, let's use that for entrance. We're at 35 interstage, or 36 interstage now, versus the 35 with too much gating, and we're normally at 29 with no gates. You already got plenty of boost to burn the fuel, is why you don't see the power change much, even though the boost drops. Oh yeah, I'm sure. The BC block saying that the block is seeing a lot less stress with 20 pounds less drive. Yeah, no, I'm sure. Like the engine's completely happier. I just kind of expected more power from it. I don't know why. Like boost capped in this range about 1,500 horse, and now we're at 17. So I was like, oh, we're obviously restricting on something. If we can find that restriction, awesome. But I don't know.
You just want some more fuel.
Maybe just want some more fuel.
You put some more fuel in it? The people need to know.
Put some more fuel in it. I'm just trying to think of what I want to...
I almost think leave the gate the same and just put fuel in it where it is right now. Just seems the happiest it's been so far.
And made the most power 17 to 55. Let's compare it actually.
Compare that to
The external gate.
atmosphere only gate.
We dropped drive more with the atmosphere only gate. No, we didn't. Sorry, we dropped. Whoa, we're at 89 right now. It was 103, but boost was 80, and now it's 77. And that's not a bad ratio. We definitely took a bigger hit from the. Like I think we could have opened the screamer pipe more. Is why it didn't drop very much. We opened that gate really early still, and that's why I think it might be snuffing. Is it's just getting up. It's not able to hit the turbine hard enough, I guess. Like it's not opening.
So we're at 1,700 microseconds.
We're at 1650-ish.
1650. So we're gonna add 100 microseconds or 200. What do you think?
Maybe 150.
150.
Yeah, and that's probably gonna put us to like.
Do you have to do a whole flash to do that, or is that just a CP5? Okay. So a couple minutes to do that.
Yep.
10 minutes. Okay. You want to shut it off? I used to have shut off to tune it, right? Okay.
I'm not that good.
He said, Brian says give it at least 5%.
What's 5% of 1,600?
5% of 1,600 is 16 times 5, so 50 and 30, 80. So we're going to give it about 10%, right? Yeah, 150 of 1,650. About 9% more fuel, Brian.
I want to...
What was the AFR 2,700 RPM on up? It was hovering there at like 1.13.
No. Oh, 1.3. Sorry. I thought you said 0.
Div calculator, Shad. What's 14.5 times 1.13?
So it's just as we're adding fuel, it's getting richer and richer, and then it's hovering.
14.5 times 1.13.
What is interesting, we are 1% leaner on Lambda with the gating situation currently.
385.
So it's about 16.3 to 1 AFR.
So
What are we?
So it peaks right here at 36 or so.
What is
133?
1.33?
Yep, and then it just gets
What's
richer and richer.
1.33 times 14.5?
And then it gets down to 1.06.
1.33 times 14.5.
Here, I'll just zoom in here so you can see the numbers. This is 5,000 RPM, and this is comparing it to.
So it starts at 19.25 air fuel ratio and ends up at about 16 air fuel ratio.
Yeah.
16 and a half.
You can see those HGs are just like yoink.
Once again, if this was a gas engine, that's melted pistons being that lean.
Yeah.
And with the diesel, it's still not perfectly clean, but it's quite clean. Give her the MPA is what Kyle Biasio says. It's already pretty high at 210.
No, there's more. So when I add more, So I'm not going to just add duration. I'm going to add more MMs cubed, and that's going to move it over on the table, and that'll give us more pressure and more duration. So we'll see how it goes.
Maybe the big undivided housing isn't an issue, that this fuel.
Maybe.
Josh is right. Pressure is power. That's what Kyle Biazio said. Jaeger wrenching. It's already at 210 MPa, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of my MPAs.
Big fan of pressure.
For shallow.
What is the max you can run on this setup?
It's a 240 sensor, so really the max you should run is like 225.
That's
that way you can still read above it, so you can DCM knows to bump it back down.
All right. No more Gale tunes. Let's parties with just Hunter citizens.
Who says that?
Kyle says, ooh, spicy, do 225. I think this is going to end up, what, 210 MPa? Is this secret tuning files nobody can see?
This is a stock file that I just wrecked havoc on, so there's really nothing here that you can't do. Let's do the...
My bad, my iPad is Denver time. It's 10:30 here, but still daylight, 24 hours a day. Oh, Gary Craig must be up in Alaska. It's 10:30 here, but still daylight. My 6.7 has a toe turn, about getting 24 on the highway, 17. That's pretty good fuel mileage. I thought you just went one full turn on the screw, laugh out loud. Oh, he's talking about turning the fuel up with AFC Live.
Yeah, he's like, I don't speak this keyboard jargon.
Is a turbo tuner worth it on a 5 to 650 horsepower, or is a boost elbow good enough?
I mean, if you want to be able to change it inside the cab, that's really nice.
But other than that,
I think the turbo tuner effectively works a little bit better, but it's really, I think the main thing is just being able to change it inside the cab and play with it while you're towing or whatever to get the best EGG control.
what were they, 125 bucks or something?
I don't remember actually.
I mean, I don't think it's a lot of money for the fidget fun factor, but at the end of the day, could you make very similar power to the boost elbow? Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of where I want to add.
Can you tune the gate as well without a turbo tuner? No, but you can do a pretty good job. If you got compounds, then you need to start running the boost elbow off the atmosphere charger, because it's harder as the boost pressure goes up. All right, what are we doing here? You just gotta like tell us what you're doing. Just think out loud. Pretend like there's no camera.
I'm trying
here.
to figure out. So you can see here we're using the pedal table to ramp in the fuel. So this is what's holding us. So when you guys see me like ramp into the fuel every time, like, you know, it's cleanly coming up. I'm flat footing it the moment it hits 2200 RPM, and so it's just ramping itself in. And so I've got to decide how I want to ramp in the extra fuel. Do I smooth it the whole way, or do I just add it at the very end there? I think I'm going to add it at the very end there and just kind of go for broke and hope it works. So yeah, it's going to smack. I think it'll be fine. It should survive. Or do we just
are all open and kind of balanced? It's either gonna go great or it's gonna snuff it. Hopefully we see some smoke come out of the stack this time. Got to keep our 12 valve customers interested.
Exactly.
Our 12 valve viewers, sorry, not customers.
So that'll be about 150 US increase. Yeah, let's just do that and see what happens. It'll be spicy there, but it'll be fine. Okay. And then that's that. We can just do that to all the tunes. I'll just copy that in.
And if this picks up 150-ish horsepower, it's going to be a new personal record for this truck. Fuel.
If it picks up 100 horsepower, it's going to be a new record for this truck.
You haven't been to 1850 before?
I've been to 18. Oh yeah, I guess I've been to 1850 something. Like, so I think it was.
So you need just over 100 horsepower to get a new personal record. All right. Well, this is titled 1800 horsepower, and we haven't seen it yet. So
wow,
we only talk in rear wheel tire numbers around here. We don't talk about engine dyno numbers. However, once we get an engine dyno, all of our marketing will change to engine dyno numbers. Because this would be a way cooler package to say, here's a 2,000 horsepower engine combo.
This would be, right, currently this would be about, I guess, yeah.
It'd probably be 2,000 right now on engine dyno.
More.
A lot of power for a factory wet block.
Especially how many runs is this thing?
Yeah, we've been freaking going.
It's got to have 30 runs on it now, right? 40 runs? We have 10 runs tonight. We had 10 the other night, probably. In front of C, hermano.
Bobby. Okay, let's go to 7. Okay, save that. Now we're gonna go to full flash.
Okay, I'm gonna read some comments here while we're waiting 7 minutes for this thing to flash.
7 minutes, 46 seconds.
7 minutes and a few seconds. Okay.
Is that the only change we want to make? Probably.
Yeah, just give us some fuel.
Time is gonna.
Okay, Brian Block. Oh, here it's read that turbo tuner. Okay, Kyle Biazio. Every number you read off is better with the gate like it is. Engine getting better air. Drive down, big charger, making more steam.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy how much that little gate is doing. Like it's dropping like, what is that? 30 some psi. Little turbo smart that could.
Brian wanted you to start adding fuel about 200 RPM below where the gate's opening.
That's early, bro. I don't know about that.
The tune's already going in, so I read your comment too late, but I don't know if Myer would have listened anyway.
I mean, no, I'm down the clown.
The current fuel level is probably just hitting the atmospheric turbine softer than you thought it would. With this extra fuel, I bet it makes an exponential gain on interstage boost.
Who's that, bro?
Coleman Preston. Agreed, Brian. Just shy of gate opening. All right, Gary Craig. You guys got me hooked with The Godfather. I hope I can see it again someday. Myer, do you hope to see The Godfather again someday? Shad? No? Yes?
I mean, it'd be cool for it to make a comeback.
I just know that in order to see it actually run one day, that means I have to live in it for a year. I don't want to do that.
All right, Brian. Yeah, you gain 15% most times on engine dyno. About 15% over the wheel dyno numbers.
I'm wondering if I should.
Josh, wake up is what Kyle just commented. Did Josh leave?
It's like his wife's birthday today or tomorrow or something. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's tomorrow. Or no, it was yesterday.
I barely know my wife's. Like enjoying Josh's wife.
Well, I
stretch.
I was talking to him on my way to Vegas, so
There you go.
and he said it was his wife's birthday.
Less
so.
weird. That's good.
All right, we're down to 69 people watching. This is not interesting when a truck gets tuned.
Yeah, you have to watch the light flash strategically.
And then you can listen to then you can listen to the FCAs.
Hall Tech, Shift Light, Shad. This is a Mustang 1750. It's the biggest one Mustang makes. We had to add a little cooling vent here to help cool off the eddies a little better. A little carpet fan plumbed in there so it sucks air in the gaps around the rollers. Pulls it across the eddies there, and then underneath there's a couple fans. 52-inch roller. Beefy. Notice the tire position on the front of the roller. You need that for max traction. You don't put it on the front of the roller, it ain't gonna hook up. Got some serious strappage back here. I don't know what else to show you guys. We're just waiting for the tune to load. Maybe some engine bay pictures. All right, we've got this GDP air intake horn. I hear those aren't made anymore. We've got this power-driven diesel boot with some fancy clamps. Got a brace. Yes, this is a 6.7 Cummins and an older second-gen Dodge Ram. Cowl's cut out a little bit. So you've got this old JGS gate here. This is one that goes to the screamer pipe to atmosphere. You've got this turbo smart gate, and it's curling down around under the turbo, blending into the hot pipe. The hot pipe is the exhaust outlet from the 480. and it feeds right here into the big turbo. And that wastegate pipe is tucked right here, and see how it's merged in right there into that hot pipe. Boost from the big turbo, if you guys don't know, runs into 480. It's compounded. Got this stainless exhaust, getting a little bit of color on it. We call this the mint and chip block because it's painted kind of a mint green from a Detroit diesel. And then Myer decided to splatter it with some black paint, so it kind of looks like mint and chip ice cream. But it is an OEM block. Ooh, what's that shiny piece right there? Show you guys some prototype power driven stuff. Look at that. That is a power driven branded fan pulley holder. That's pretty freaking sweet. Someday those will be released to the public. All right, comments. Yes, we need a Will Terry dyno session. Live PDD episode to compare techniques. That would be great, except whenever I go live, there's no data learned. It's just like, let's see how much power we can make before the engine blows up. So just be nitrous and then more nitrous on top of more fuel, maybe a 13 mil pump swap.
Just looking at the comments and someone asked something question I wanted to answer.
Comped Ed.
Dates on the tires. The tires are actually, despite looking bold, those are Todd's Daly's tires from like a year and a half ago. And so they're bald, but they're also very quite new. So that's why he was going to trash them. I was like, no, I'll take them. Those are great dyno tires. Low tread helps, grab the roller, but they're new and they're not going to blow apart. So, and we're actually doing all the testing in third because the Mustang dyno loads down hard enough. I don't have to put it in overdrive, and doing it in third lets me rub it out way further without having to make it a 20-second pull. So
You know, to get insane drive shaft speed or anything like that. It's just a little easier, safer. It probably could make a little more in overdrive, but it's not really much when you get at this power level. It seems like either it's going to make the power or not. Gate S400 for towing. What's the best way to gate it? Comped Todd's 467 GT55 has no gates and tows great. So I would say, depending on your turbo sizes, you might not need to gate it at all.
Yeah, for towing, I don't feel like you're going to start being...
And cleaning soot out of gates is such a pain, even if there's a 10... there's going to be 10. There might be a 5% gain if you gate it perfectly. You know what? Is 5% worth having to clean your wastegate every 6 months because it sticks open and gives you a 20% decrease in performance? No. So I would say no gate on S400 towing compounds. Oh, I hear injectors ticking. That means it's almost done.
Best truck of the truck is the headliner. It's like, it hurts me. I can't get rid of it. So I've got this 20-pound headliner.
And it's made out of fleece. It's probably made out of a blanket or something. It looks like fleece.
Yeah. So I can't
material.
Get rid of it. So we're gonna rock it as long as we can.
Okay, Lee Bayer 0459 tuner exhaust intake ARP 2000s considering compound tunes. What would you consider too high RPMs for highway cruising with stock valve train versus modified? Within the factory red line, there's no problem for cruising RPM. If the engine's not built, your failure is going to be like Josh experienced, a rod bolt failure most likely.
Yep.
And that happens when you're up around red line forever coming down a mountain. So I don't think there's any problem with RPM within factory red line, honestly. Godsmoke.
I mean, even, dude, I don't know, coasting engines down a grade, using it as an engine brake with no exhaust brake and nothing, I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Looking to do compound setup with a 363 7414 T3 SXE, which will spool faster than my Silver Bullet Fat Shaft 366 7314 T3, and then the 480 96 132 T6 will take over. Good or bad setup? I think that's a great setup. I don't think there's a Yeah, because you have the same turbine wheel, got smoke. That industrial injection turbo has the same turbine wheel as the SXE, but the SXE, they didn't clip it as much, so they do generate a little more shaft horsepower. And being a 63 compressor, yeah, you're gonna like it a little bit better. As far as good or bad setup, that's a fantastic setup. No problems at all with that. If you're doing a 480 and you're looking for tight packaging, that PDD Aggressor 480 has a much tighter scroll, and you're not really giving up any horsepower over one of those big race covers. So I would look into that turbo very closely unless you already have a 480. Katrina's saying dates on the tires. Yeah, they're pretty fresh. I would bet you they're 2022 at the oldest. So I am worried about nitrous hits because my tow rig also is my toy at the 8th mile track. All right, this is more fuel, should make more power. Duck behind the dumpster to add more power. There'll be a new personal record for Myer. Hopefully there's no block parts on the ground. We don't think there will be because it's very low torque, but you never know. Every block's different. See what the power number was. Everything's good underneath. No parts flew. 1815. Somebody guessed 1817. That was a good guess.
That's a good guess, yeah.
All right, so a little disappointed on the power. We're hoping it'd pick up more.
Yeah, let's see. I checked data log, make sure I did things right, you know. There's always a chance I done messed up AAA wrong.
There's a chance what? That you didn't
There's always a chance I've done messed up AA wrong.
Oh, and didn't get as much fuel in there as you thought?
Yeah, what's AFR? How smoky was it?
It had visible smoke. There was definitely more fuel.
Yep, we're down to 0.9 right there, 0.9 right before I let off.
So you went from 130 or what was it, 113 to 90, so now you're 5% rich. So quite a bit more fuel. Did that cool off the EGT at all or something so that we had less drive energy at the turbine?
No, we were making more boost than we used to. Let's look at our very last run. Yeah, we did cool off EGTs a little bit. Boost was up a little bit. Otherwise, boost and drive are basically identical.
The historic was 106 lambda, that's 6% lean, and current was about 0.93, about 7% rich. Or is it 0.91, 9% rich? What is it?
I'm sorry, what were you?
0.94, 0.106 is what I saw there. 0.95, 0.106.
Oh, yeah.
So that was about a 9%. No, that's an 11% swing in fuel. So right what Brian wanted. 11% more fuel as far as AFR. Do you need any fans turned on or anything?
I sure do. We're like right there at the edge of what this thing wants to do.
Look at that torque still down there, 1953, 92,000 foot-pounds. Heck yeah. And you're just noting the tune, so if you want to go back and look over the data, you pull up the data log and compare all the stuff.
Yep.
Kyle Biazia, what's the timing split?
Split right there is approximately 80, I believe.
It's about 80% split. We were at 85 before, and then we were at 90, and it didn't pick up power at 90 over 85, and it didn't lose much going down to 80, so we left it there. But we have not played with timing split at that fuel quantity yet, but it is at 80%. What's the log showing here? How much fuel did you get? It all caught in there?
I believe so. Let's check. 1800. So that's about right there at 1800 power. I thought it was going to be from, I think it was 1650. So that was 150 US more. Rail maintained. We're right where it's to be, as far as I can tell. So
I'd be curious to close the gates off and do the same fuel and see what it does.
no gates.
No gates.
I'm curious to put the flip-flop the gates, or like remove the pressure from the hot pipe gate, because we know that one will barely open, and then just gate some atmosphere and see what happens. I don't know.
Try that. What's crazy to me is usually when we get richer, drive pressure goes up. And so you would think your gate tuning would have optimized that tune better with more fuel in there. That was not very much gain for the amount of fuel put in there.
Definitely was not richer without power, really. But I have more timing. I could go in there and see what that does.
Put more timing in it.
I wonder if we're just snuffing. I wonder if I need to open the gate. I wish I could open the gate more aggressively, like open it later and then just slam it.
Pop it open.
Yeah. I don't know how to necessarily do that. I could use a turbo tuner.
Turbo tuner would do that because it would block all the signal, and then as soon as you hit that tune threshold, it pop it open.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just fling up and then drop it. Drop it like it's hot. I kind of want to play with that, actually. Get it wound up higher and then just drop it.
And then you would be able to see what the gate's doing because you'd have that sudden pulse of the gate opening. You can see if it trends the power up or down. Then you figure out if you're overshooting really quick, because in that transition zone you'd see a trend that changes rapidly.
Yeah, because right now it's opening at still like 40 pounds. And so it's time to just push through that, which isn't hard necessarily for it, but it's just not wanting to. just know that if I tighten the gate more, cool, but it's not what it wants. It just doesn't want to be open as early.
Or you could give it another half turn, which would make it open a little later. And if it makes more power, it's then going to have plenty of energy to blow the gate open more.
Yeah, we could try that. Loosen up a half turn. What's that oil time?
What's your fuel level at?
I've been topping it off. It's at 100% still. It doesn't read the first quarter of the tank. 135, we're ready for another 12.
135.
I'll go loosen up the gate, another turn.
All right, so we're using boost pressure to blow open the gate, so he's going to turn that down one turn, which should be, what is that, about 10 psi with one turn roughly? Didn't that's what we thought it changed it? So that will delay the gate a little bit. That's about 10 psi, right?
Yeah. And that should go from 40 something to 50 something.
How many more can you do? Can you do another turn? Make a big swing?
I was trying to play with that, but I don't know.
All right.
But we know what nothing does.
Yeah.
It feels like on one turn it's free to go to the bottom. So let's try that.
Okay. We cooled off? Okay, let's do it. Okay, another run coming up. We, like I said, just to repeat, he loosened the regulator that's feeding the gate to open it, not to keep it closed. So it should hold that inner stage wastegate closed for 10 more psi before it opens. We'll see if it picks up any power or what it does. Same tune. They made 1812 or 10 or whatever it did. Let's see what she did, fellas. Eight more. 1829, so it picked up, what? 1829, so it picked up a little bit of power. It sounded nastier.
Yeah. Compared to the last run. Dude, Shad's just got like a full-time job over here. Drive, yeah, just made a little bit more boost. Drive was up a bit, 95 from 89, so up 6 pounds. Boost was only up.
Talk a little bit louder.
Boost was only up like 1.2 psi. Drive was up 6 psi. Interstage boost was down a psi. Interstage drive was up a psi. I feel like I want to play around with like getting it wound up and slamming it open with a turbo.
Smacking the gate open.
Really like getting it to come open. I wonder if it just needs a kick in the pants to come up and then drop. I think I want to play with them around with that. See what happens.
So you want to try to put a turbo tuner on there and see if you can pop the gate more? Notice the peak horsepower is down to 4,800. It's been peak at 5,100 before.
It was yesterday. Today it's been making closer right there.
Peaking a little lower today.
Mm-hmm.
A little different weather today.
Yeah.
We don't have a way to read crankcase pressure anymore, do we?
I'd have to log into the
Just log into the data log.
Yeah, I could if you cared.
But people saying they're going to bed since 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. I'm tempted to as well.
For sure need an AMS 1000 or boost leash on that thing so you're not guessing on wastegate control.
Who says that?
Porky's Fab. We have an AMS 1000 in stock.
The Haltech can do it too. I just
The Stalltech can do it if you program it in there, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it can. I guess I don't know.
What is the MM3 on the tune, just roughly?
Kyle, why do you know that?
What?
Is that Kyle?
Yeah.
Roughly. These injectors are 375s. I think they do 290 mm's cubed at 1700 US and 160 MPa. We're at 220 MPa and 1800 US. So I don't know math, but a calculator can figure that one out.
But that would be 600 or better, you think?
No.
500?
Would it? I don't think so.
That's your calculator. Checking crankcase pressure real quick.
Yep. Why not? Why not?
Okay, oil temps 146.
I didn't pull that up on my main
Pull up a
screen,
log
so I
here
didn't
on
do
the
it.
Haltech. Let's see the crankcase, make sure we're looking healthy still since we're making more power now. More fuel going in there.
A bunch of 28-second runs. I wonder why they're all the same. So, since it's an atmospheric pressure, because I kind of put the wrong one in, it's reading negative 1.4 after the run. So you have to do a little math. It's getting to 0.2, or negative 0.2, so that's 1.2 psi according to this.
So 1.2 psi crankcase pressure. So not as low as it has been in the past. So it's coming up a little.
It's coming up a little bit, but it's also a completely different sensor than the dyno. And so, I mean, within the margin of whatever.
But still, less than 2
Yeah.
psi is fantastic. 1.2, 1 psi.
Yeah.
Freaking great. If you go back about 3 or 4 runs, is it the same kind of pressure? Or is it slowly increasing?
I could go. So let's go back to run. So let's go back over to here. It's obviously, you know, slightly the lower power level, but nope, same 1.4, 1.2. I mean,
Kyle said 375 DDPs at 220/1650 US. That's definitely 600 plus cubes.
oh, nice. Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm not anywhere close to 4 horsepower per MM3. So no
Hey, you're way
records.
off the 4 horsepower per MM3, otherwise you'd be 2,400 horse.
Yeah, I'd be balling. Why did my math not map on that? I don't know.
All right, let's get a couple comments here. That's still pretty clean, is what Godsmoke says.
Okay, let's get a turbo tuner set here.
Can you get a turbo tuner on here? All right, well, Myer's getting a turbo tuner off the shelf, or do you know where a used one
I
is?
think the used one's kicking around. I think it's in the race shop.
All right, Katrina's saying, don't lose sight. Anything over 1800 is a massive effort. Don't get lost in the data. Don't get lost in the data, Myer. Katrina Singh said that. Do you think Katrina Singh's a real person, or is that an AI trying to get posts so that people think it's a real person?
I would assume anyone at 3 a.m.
Is a computer? Anyone at 3 a.m. watching you dig through a drawer for parts is a computer?
Oh, actually, I was going to say, like, AI is not that dumb.
AI's not that dumb.
Not dumb enough, I don't know. Okay, I'll be back. I'm going to get a...
Stanzalov Dragon said, CIAO chat, how you say that, chow? That basically says goodbye in frickin' in Norway or wherever, Sweden.
We are going to go get...
You're gonna go get a turbo tuner from the race shop. And now we can watch Shad the man hose down the radiator and the intercooler. Why? 'Cause there's nothing else to do.
Get nice and cold.
Can't wait for my phone to start beeping. I'm gonna get an angry call from my wife being like, what are you doing?
I already got one of those.
You already got one? It's funny though, Myer's been married the shortest amount of time and he doesn't get those. Just the longer you're married, the more angry calls you get. You stay out late.
He doesn't have any kids yet either, though.
Yeah, that's true. We got Scooter here. Don't go to bed. We're making horsepower here, people.
Matter of time.
You know, if this was 5 years ago, half of PDD's employees would be here checking out. Sweet, dude.
There'd probably
1800, they'd be like, dude, that was some big numbers.
There'd probably be at least one blown up turbo too, though.
We make 1800 horsepower now, and there's only 3 people that care. We need more. Yeah, I mean, I'm being a little extra careful now. It's starting to sound nastier. It's starting to sound more wicked. Need to get that screamer pipe open and see if we can get some mock diamonds coming out of the exhaust.
I know, right?
It's high enough power, it should have some mock diamonds now.
I'm surprised we haven't seen it yet, honestly.
Well, this one's not opening. I think if he was to open the screamer, he'd start seeing some mock diamonds.
Is he just opening into...
He's just venting into hot pipe, only this one's staying closed. But he's trying to just pop it because it seems like it's opening a little early. But if he doesn't put that much pressure, then it doesn't open enough. So he's going to put a turbo tuner on there, which basically hides the boost signal until it hits the pre-programmed thing, and then it ramps up at 1 to 1. So he's going to put a turbo tuner at roughly the same setting, but it's not going to open at all until it's going to spike it a little bit and then pop it open and see if you can get a little more power out of it. We're starting to get a little soot over here on the hood. Right? There's this old soot, and I just now noticed it.
How do you do the collection on up on the roof too?
Yeah, it's starting to blow a little bit of soot up there on the roof. Good thing this is our building. If we had a landlord, they'd be like, absolutely not, guys. Look at that light, so blacked out. People smoke out their lens to make their truck look cool. All right, we're down to 54 people. We're dropping like flies here, Myer.
Myer's got to be faster. He should have taken the faster scooter.
I mean, I can click away and it'll stop the stream for a minute and restart it, but then everybody will leave. All right, we only got one more comment. How do the ball bearing turbos do long-term on the diesels? Compted or compted? They seem to hold up fantastic on ball bearing turbos on the diesel. So I don't know if it's just the additives in the diesel oil keeps the soot from hurting the ball bearings, but They're great chargers. So, ball bearing for the win. Is Todd looking at doing anything reckless with the Chaos solid engine block anytime soon? Give the Colorado kids something to get nervous about. Jess, every day there are discussions about what to do with that block. The last crazy one I heard was, let's put it together. Let's put 4 massive turbos on there, or 3 massive turbos and nitrous, and see if we can hit 4K. But that's all talk. So yeah, we have it. We have the pistons and the sleeves and the rods for it. It's like ready to go, honestly. But who's going to put on the work to do that? I think it'd be fun to make a dedicated dyno only rig where you could put some steel plating in the firewall to protect you. You're not trying to make it super like leak free for drag racing, so you can have like catch cans and vent tubes to the ground like a sled pull truck, where you don't really. Yeah, I just think it could be wild. You're not trying to make the trans shift through all the gears, so we can modify the trans to hold more power and not be worried about trying to race it. That'd be fun. All right. Cole Powell. I've got a China ball bearing GT35 clone on a 7.3 IDA, and I beat the truck to death. Never given me problems. Cole, some people have great luck with the Chinese turbos, and then some people struggle with them. So either you got a good one, or that manufacturer you chose makes a decent turbo. Oof, I need a cigarette after hearing that. Well, he said, oof, I need a cigarette after hearing that. Oh, I'm a mechanical guy. And Jess, we do have a Sigma pump, by the way. If that project goes together. It's just a 15, but that would get us in the Sigma platform to mess around, and then we could get a billet. I think we can get 21 millimeter for sure. They might even make 22s now.
Oh, really?
But yeah, you can get up there. 21 will do like 2,400 cc's. So, and they advance the timing as you do racks. So they got built-in timing. It'd be freaking sweet. Precision diesel injection, ball bearing all the way. I used to eat Journal bearings for breakfast and stood by them till I did. Made over 1,000 with a single G42. It's a big number on a single charger. It's tough to make 4 digits on a single turbo on a diesel. Come on, guys, post some questions or comments. You got to keep us all interested while we're waiting for Myer to find turbo tuner. There's only like 100 on the shelf 10 feet from here, but he's never wants to grab new product off the shelf. All right, I'm going back through the comments. If you get a CO2 and a controller, you can do the exact same thing. That's true. I think Brian left. He had to go to bed. He said add 1 degree of timing from 4K on up. Wide or narrow bowls, Kyle? So I did just see that comment. These are narrow bowl on highway OEM Cummins pistons. Actually, these might be Molly. I don't know if these are used OEMs or Molly, but they're definitely either an OEM or a Molly version of an OEM. Narrow bowl 6.7 on highway piston.
Standard bore, right?
Standard bore 4210. I think the piston wall is like 9 thousandths or something. Good and loose on the hot cylinder. How did the interstage numbers change? I can't remember anymore, Coleman. You'd have to, well, I guess I got the screen in here I could look at. All right, let's see if we can get us something to look at here. So let's go with 1. Let's put it on the baller shot collar. You can see the numbers, and let's compare to this run. this by RPM so we can see what the heck's going on. All right, so wherever I hover, so let's pick up here, let's say 40, no, let's say up here around 5,000 RPM. Move the mouse up or down until it pulls up the historical numbers. There you go. So the current run at 5,000 RPM, 1810, and before it did 1695. Interstage boost. So that would be out of the big turbo one from 3509 on this one. Before it did 35.35. So basically the same boost. Total boost is higher by about 7. And drive pressure on this run was 95 pounds roughly. Before it was 81. So we didn't really gain much total boost. We gained, 7 pounds roughly. But drive pressure went up like 13 pounds, almost 14 pounds. EGT was lower with the extra fuel. That J-box boost pressure, that's the interstage boost pressure. So measured between the big G57 and the S480. So the historic, that's the older lower power, 50 pounds. So now it went 54.3. So it's up 4.2 pounds. So we're up 4 pounds of boost interstage. At the bottom there. Get you really tight here. Let's really look at those numbers. So at the very bottom in orange, we're up 4 pounds of boost interstage. EGT, see historic, that's the old run at lower tune level. 1730, this tune it's 1630. So we're down 100 EGTs. Drive pressure, once again historic is the lower power tune, 81, and now we're at 95 pounds of total drive. That's measured in the manifold. Total boost, $79 versus 72. Interstage boost, basically the same. You can see the horsepower difference there is 115, let's see, 1695 for 1794 would be 100. So you're talking a 100, yeah, about 115 horsepower. Torque went up about 118, 19, 20, 21. Here's the graph of how they carried. So the darker runs is this current, the lighter one is historic or the old run at lower power level. All right, so back to questions at the bottom, see what I've missed now. All right. Jess Hodder, you had me at Sigma. Well, yes, Sigma. 6.7 column rail was very stretched and hot. I don't know what he's talking about. Porky's PSR 85102 ball bearing outlasted 3 different engines at 1100 horsepower. Spicy Tuna. On a 5.9 column rail factory bottom end and top end, is it safe to spin it up to 4K with appropriate valve springs and push rods? As long as there's a little bit of boost in the cylinder, no problem. We've had spin to 4K for a while. Tim, one of our employees, had an 05 and he did finally lose a rod and windowed his block. He'd hot rod all the time. Hey Myer, where was Tim's tune cap do RPM wise that he eventually threw a rod? 4,000?
I don't remember. It was like slightly over 4,000, like 42.
It's about 4,200, and he got a couple of years out of it, but he did eventually sling a rod and broke a rod bolt, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say your results may vary, but usually you get a year or two out of them at that. And rod bolt was the failure, not a cracked block, not a broken rod per se. It was the rod bolt that gave up. And he had push rods, valve springs, normal stuff. It's definitely beneficial. Spool time, stability. All right. Good luck with PSR, but them tariffs. That's a PSR turbo, right? Pulsar stent is PSR. Yeah. Have you guys ever considered playing with the mechanical Isuzu or Hino engines? Guys in Australia, New Zealand, Brazil, and Argentina are making impressive numbers with them. We haven't considered it because they just really aren't here. The few Isuzus that they have here are just trash. A Hino's never even seen one in person. So you play with what you have. It's kind of like asking why we're not playing with Holdens over here in America. It's pretty hard to get your hands on a Holden in America. Australia, it's like an LS basically over there. Spicy ID, I don't know if it's safe, but I've done it lots without issue. Yeah, a lot of guys get away with it for a while, sometimes years. I guess while we're farting around, have you guys looked into H pumps at all, or too much of a hassle, not worth the effort? So Jess, the H pump, we had 3 or 4 of them, and I think we ended up putting them in the scrap bin eventually because they weren't even worth messing with. What we found is they have variable timing, which is great. But the problem with the H pump is as you advance the timing rack, you start losing duration. So it's like a trade-off game. Let's say you have 1,000 cc's of fuel. Great, you can get that, but only at low timing. You start cranking the timing in, and all of a sudden it's an 800 cc pump. So they're big, heavy, clunky thing. There wasn't enough cores around to make a viable product as a business. So a few guys that have messed around with them a little bit, you know, that's fine, but it's just not... Unfortunately, it's not marketable as a business. You'd be better off trying to retrofit a computer on a standard P pump or make an adjustable injection pump gear that you could use oil to advance the gear, almost like variable cam timing, like an LS or a modern gas engine. I honestly think that's a more viable business side of that than an H pump. So we just kind of got rid of them.
I got it so it's blocking the signal until 50 psi. At that point, it starts adding 1-to-1. So
all right, so you just put the turbo tuner on there. Yep. You can see a little thing, and the way it works is it blocks the signal up to your set point. You pre-dialed that to block till 50. Then after that, 1-to-1, as it goes above 50 pounds of boost, it's going to add a pound.
Boost, it'll be 20 underneath. 80 pounds boost, it'll be 30 underneath. And I think that should open the gate pretty dang good.
Yeah, it should pop it great. And if it's too much, all you got to do is a quarter turn on the knob and slow it down just a tiny bit. Basically, the higher you crank that knob in, the longer it delays. So that's kind of how the turbo tuner works. It's almost like a...
work the way we want. If it's a good like starting principle, then what I'll do is I'll use the Hull Tech to control like a Mac valve, and then just get it fully lit and freaking dump it. Okay. See, Poppy.
So we are ready. Is your fuel good? Water's good? We're ready to do a poll? All right, dude, we're at 59. I don't know why we picked up people. This gap of Isuzus, people are like, oh my gosh. Okay, back to the safety of my dumpster. Ooh, Diet Coke. My favorite. Oh man, we got a scooter ruining my shot. What the heck? Damn, no scooter in my shot. Only a sissy would drive a scooter. That's why we have 4 of them. All right. See, you got Shad back there hiding behind his plywood. See, everybody thinks we're stupid. We know what can happen when you're at this power level. You just got to take precaution. You never know. Do I think this is going to blow up? Less than 1%. But that's all it takes is that 1%. Okay, let's see it, Myer. Get trucks back here where I'm safe. Hey, sorry about the shake, guys. That didn't sound as like wicked to me.
No, it didn't.
1754, we were way down.
Was the atmosphere gate opening?
That was down.
Yeah, we're back down to low power runs. What the hell?
And we did change the tune or nothing, right?
No.
Well, it had fuel. I saw the smoke. It seemed like it kind of delayed the fuel coming in. It was pretty clean till late in the run. Well, that was anticlimactic.
Yeah, it definitely had the fuel. What did it do?
Look how rich the AFR got it in there.
Oh, the drive was way down. 79 pounds of drive.
So gated too much.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we lost like 80 horsepower. Drive went way down. It gated way too much with the turbo tuner on there.
So it just like blew it open too much. more or
The
less.
what you call it's not hot, right? The screamer. Terrible. Dude, that hot pipe gate go hard. Had a lot more fuel.
So you need to crank the turbo tuner up
72 pounds of boost versus 82.
to drop 10 pounds of boost.
Yeah, wow. That gate's very capable of neutering this setup. It's wild.
So you need to add another 10 pounds or more to the turbo tuner.
Yeah.
So drive dropped 10 psi. No wait, it was at 94 and now it's at 70. You need to raise that turbo tuner another.
So did you slow the 480 down too much?
Yeah, apparently so.
Because it gated around it too much.
It started to crack at 54 pounds.
And you were hoping it would start cracking where?
I wasn't sure because it's like spring pressure along with each side of the diaphragm. Like, I don't know. So I feel give it a half turn or full turn and see what happens.
Just a half. Well, it's way down though, way overshot.
I don't know. I don't know how much one turn does. I didn't know.
I bet it's similar to these other things, about 10 psi per turn.
Full turn. It's fine.
Give her a full turn maybe.
Sure. It's crazy that like boosted driver like 1-to-1, but it's just not.
Everyone that says boosted drive 1-to-1 is life. I mean, that might be ideal in a textbook, but when you tune the gate to make that happen, we just lost, you know,
Yeah.
65 horsepower roughly.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that same gate setting might be perfect if it was delayed enough where the engine was making 2,000 horsepower before that occurred. Then it might be able to, might love that.
I wonder if I need to be richer and richen it up right there where it's like getting lean. If I just need to richen it up the whole way, bringing the fuel a little faster, like they were saying. 147. What are your thoughts?
I think rather than making a tuning change, you should make another gate change.
Yeah.
Because you lost so much power, it'd be dumb to change two things at once.
Yeah.
So I think you should leave the tune alone, and I'd say even a turn and a half on the turbo tuner. Give a fighting chance to. It's still going to eventually get there and open. I mean, it way open. That's why it dumps so much.
Yeah.
Is because before you were regulating what was going in there, right? So you're capping it at 15 psi or whatever. Now you're not doing that, so you might have dumped 50 into there, or
Yeah.
whatever. It's working off boost, right?
Yeah, so technically we should have put 30 in there. Or ish.
So you might have opened the gate twice as far, which is what you saw there. And really, we don't even know if you might be opening it too far. We're just trying to delay it and pop it.
Yeah. So I need to back it off. Or tighten it up. You need to tighten it up.
Tighten up.
A turn and a half. Go
Turn and a half.
havoc on that thing.
about a turn and a half. It's kind of hard to tell when you're reaching your arm around the hot exhaust. You want to burn it. Might have been as much as like a turn and 3/4. Might have been as little as a turn and 1/4. But I was just doing about a 1/4 turn per twist and counting. It's on here though, so maybe at some point you could ever go back and you want to recreate. If we magically have a patentable wastegate setting, you can patent it.
Exactly. Great idea.
All right. I'm feeling like this might be the last run. You look like you're tired. I'm freaking tired.
A little tired, but I'm trying to figure it out. I really like expected that hot pipe gate to do like just wonders for me. Like, oh, that restriction's got to be at 480. I mean, it dropped the crap out of drive, which is awesome, but like we're not making any more power. We're kind of still capped at that 1800 horsepower range. I really would love to, like, if I could have touched 1.9, I would have been happy tonight. But
You could touch 1900 horse.
yeah, and I don't want to just like add the fuel and lug it down and make the torque and do it I mean, I know it'd probably touch 1900 if I did it at 4200 RPM, but that's what blew it up last time. I'm not trying to blow this engine up.
You're still way safe on the torque though.
I am. I think this might be not the last one. We'll do this change and then we'll bring in the same amount of fuel, just do it a little bit more aggressively.
Down low.
Down low. Just not crazy. Like, we're still not going to peak past, like, right now we're hitting full fuel at 4600. We're going to do full fuel at like 4200, just kind of move everything up a little bit, try to hit it a little harder right when the gate's open.
See what happens.
Yeah, just see what happens.
So this time, same tune, just purely we tighten up the turbo tuner, which we're using to control the external wastegate opening ramp. Oil temps, what, 130?
Oh yeah, 130 right there.
Yeah, you're good. Isn't that where you've been doing runs, about 130?
Yeah. Hey.
All right. I think we're good if you want shutter. All right. So it didn't sound as nasty to me. I don't think we're at the same power level anymore.
Better, but still no cigar.
It didn't sound as good to me still.
You went the right direction, right?
Did it open the gate at all?
What? You made like no difference. Drive pressure got a little higher. And you for sure, okay.
I think you're coming off. What?
Did you turn the turbo tuner up? Or the knob sticking out of the firewall?
Turbo tuner.
For sure, okay.
And I turned it in.
Yeah. I mean,
But turn and a half.
why did it not do anything? I mean, I guess it went up 2 psi. But like, that's only 2 psi. the later one that went up with these.
You pumped it in the right way, yes? You didn't put it backwards or something?
I'm pretty confident. I would test it with air compressor to confirm.
Oh yeah, you can tune with air compressor. Yeah.
What do you want to do now?
Close all the gates
See what it
and
does?
make your personal best.
I want. Why don't we made the most power with we made the most power with the screamer gate open. Why don't we just do that again?
Sure. How hard is it to put boost back to the hat of this other one?
Why don't we just disconnect it so it opens a little bit? I don't think it's gonna hurt it. It barely.
Oh, because it barely opens when you disconnect all the
Yeah.
pressure to it.
And with the other gate open, it might not open at all. It's wild to me that the hot pipe gate is so finicky, and the other one's just like, yeah, we'll open, we'll make you power. It's weird. It's like the exact opposite of what I've expected. Everything's like completely backwards. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't think.
Down to 50 people, man. People are dropping
Dude,
like flies.
It's
They're-
getting
they're
late.
bedtime.
These guys are legends. What do you want to do? Do you want to do the gate again? You want to add more fuel?
I think you should not gate so much and see what happens before you add more fuel. Because it's not getting a lot of gain
do a
with the
knob?
fuel you added.
Like, do you
Oh,
want
if I just crank that, then it'll
or
keep
we
it
could
closed.
go back to atmosphere, just like we could either just go back to atmosphere where there's nothing on the gate, just like whatever the springs do, they do. We already kind of know that it's not going to open very much at all.
You just let that blow open with spring pressure as it desires.
I wonder if you were to gate a 115 divided housing, if it would somehow make a bigger difference.
Well, right now it's about 100 more dyno pulls.
Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to restart this tomorrow and start with that tighter housing because the drag rate's nice too. That's the nice thing about it.
But I think you should do a run with the gates. The drive's not crazy high. I think you should shut some gates and see if it'll pick up another 100 horse.
You go over there, do whatever you want to do, and then I'll go over there and open up the screamer pipe for the second run.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
do 2 runs.
Yep.
So I'll just turn the turbo tuner.
You're just gonna close it off
Yeah.
and make 115 pounds to drive, or whatever it makes. Yeah. Okay, I mean, get the data. Let's see what happens. It needs more. I won't say it needs more boost, but does it really? I mean, I guess it kind of does. The drive ratio looks great.
I mean, I give it a turbo tuner, but I gave it a turn and a half. I'm going to have to give it 10 turns to do anything.
We could pull it back. Let's just pull it back off and replicate it on them.
Just let it run off the spring pressure.
No, I mean like put it on the bench and see what it's at now.
Oh. Okay. All right, so we're going to do 2 more runs, and then we're going to go to bed. So this next run, we're going to modify the gate, let it basically make dang near full everything. But to verify before we decide to make that decision, we're going to go on the bench and see what the turbo tuner was tuned to when I turned that knob.
I don't know how to use a 4-inch pipe or 2 or something.
Need a piece of silicone hose.
Yeah, not good.
That's an old turbo tuner. It's a 1/4 inch.
No, that's probably all right.
Yeah, it's an old one. Oh wait, maybe we should put different fittings in them now. Look at this messy bench. Mad scientist over here.
Thanks.
We found another turbo tuner.
Yeah, I got 2. So this one is the inlet. I don't have labels on these turbo tuners.
They're too old.
I'm sure someone did put them on. Watch your face. There's no barbs here.
We believe that's set to 60. Nothing.
You should just get the hose off the thing so I don't have to sit here and try to hold it. Why did that not go? That's definitely the inlet right there. I guess I'll just pull the hose clamp off that one over there and do it. This is the inlet.
All right, so really quickly, Myer is gonna go seal a hose clamp so that he can test his turbo tuner, see where we had it set on that run that made almost no difference, and then we're gonna decide from there. I vote that we just disconnect all the gates and see what it makes as it is, and then for his final run, he wants to just add the screamer gate a little bit and see what that does, and then we'll call it a night. So I guess I could read comments, see if somebody has a better idea real quick here. Kyle Yazia says, oh, it's finicky AF.
He said, oh, it is? Oh, yeah, it is.
What's the housing on the big PSR G57? It's a 124. 124. My mom always said he's the water boy. Good motor. Chris Patterson would crack open a Chardonnay and watch this. Try. Go back to Thursday night. Best run. Set that as base setup, then add 9% and let her eat. All the best. That's a good idea. That's kind of what I want to do, is try no gates. Buddy's got the spray pattern on the hose dialed in.
What?
Shad looks like he loves his job hosing off the intercooler.
Dude, what a champion, seriously.
Shad, they're throwing shade that you love hosing off the intercooler.
My favorite thing to do.
It's your favorite thing to do? Go ahead, tell the people.
It's my favorite thing to do. I just love making that motor nice and cold.
Okay, so that's where it's cracking.
Where's it cracking?
That's right there. So like, what is that? 70, like 85
So
PSI?
you're putting 85 in there and all of a sudden it's coming out? So did it even open on the dyno?
Yeah, I made 81 pounds of drive. Like it opened.
Oh, because that's blowing open in addition against the spring, but drive pressure is helping to open it.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to try nothing now.
Try nothing and see?
I know we've tried that already, but like, why did that do it unless it's creeping?
I mean, that's relieving in there. It shouldn't be able to creep. Better not for freaking 100, 125 bucks. Those things are expensive.
Where's the, oh, the adapter right here. Can I creep? It's not creeping. Right there. That's about 75, I guess. Or 80. Which, according to, but this gauge is different than that gauge, obviously, but like...
So there's 10 pounds and that's at, yeah.
82. So, well, crap, that's wild. You honestly changed the right thing. What do you want to do? Just made it completely and just no pressure anywhere?
Yeah.
Which opens. And then we do the steamer, and then we put a 115 divider on tomorrow and try it all again. Sounds like fun. Way better than driving 3 hours.
So what do you got to do? Disconnect? You just got to plug it, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna tap it.
All right, we're about to make another run. This is the second to last run. This is how dyno sessions go. Everybody thinks dyno's all glamour and fun. No, it's
Freaking late
lots of work, late nights. And then you think about it the next day, what did we learn? Or what didn't we learn? So, here we go. How's the fuel situation back there? Feels good and cold. What a trooper. This engine's a trooper, man. It's gonna get beat on.
Gone through, this will be the 15-gallon.
15 gallons of fuel.
Well, it's 9 obviously, but for our dyno session, it's down to the last
I noticed your fuel is red. Is that because it's raced for red?
Yeah, that's why.
All right, let's see if we can get some more comments. All right. I was here for all of Josh. Now it's your turn, Myer. Tradition Dick. Hey, it's almost 4 a.m. here. I'm trying to show you love here. Laugh out loud. No idea. It's just here for the action. Love the industry. The motor loves you, bud. Okay, Kyle says they used a 140 open on the G57. What springs in the Turbo Smart HP gate? All of them.
I don't know, it's a lot of spring. It's a really long one and a little short one.
And those
This
short
is like a used one off the shelf. That's been, I think it was in Ruby for a while and it was somewhere from there.
So don't really know.
Really know.
It says put the Crocs in 4x4 for the dyno.
Dude, always. Stay strapped.
All right, so you got the gate ready, so we're doing run? All right. Close the hood. There's no oil leaking or anything, so we're doing good, man. Good. All right, like I said, this is the second to last dyno run. You're gonna run with there's just spring pressure only on the interstage gate. It's probably around 45. But remember, the interstage gate has 40 or 50 pounds or whatever of drive on the back side and 80 to 100 on the front side. So it barely cracks open on the lower tune. We'll see what it does now with more fuel. I'm guessing that was 1850, boys. Nothing underneath. Sounded better, I'm guessing 1850.
1805.
1805.
What was it?
1805. So, right there.
Drive is way up again. 111, so it opened a little bit, but not much.
What was drive?
111.
111.
So I think we should leave the gate just where it is, just to keep
And
it
then
simple.
just add some atmosphere gate to it
Yep.
for your final.
Oh, I
Alright.
remember the fans.
So it's gating a little into the hot pipe, but not really enough
Not
to do hurt
really.
anything.
Yeah.
Okay. And since the power's down, but I mean you're within 10 of where it was, so it's not. It might not even be any difference, really. You know, 10 horsepower is
Yeah,
hard
I
to
mean-
repeat at this power level. That's it's less than 1%. So
I mean,
1% would be 18
if nothing else,
horsepower.
like power, yes, but I don't love the drive. I wish it was, it'd be a lot easier on everything if it was lower.
Yeah, and it's
so,
possible the drive is overshot, so somewhere between
Yeah.
that and a little more gate is ideal, but is that really going to pick up another 100 horsepower? I doubt it.
No,
There might be 20 there, 15.
I feel like in order for the gate to make a big difference, there has to be a big strategy change with like getting it up and then just trying to drop it. Like get it spooled and then plummet it, or obviously a turbo change. I say tomorrow I'll try right on the manifold, bigger housing on people to get it to the point where it's nothing out and barely backing down from there. So we don't have a bigger housing for the G57. I think Todd's housing a V-band, so it won't swap on, and I have a T6, so I'll need to just get another housing. But I do think, with the interstage drive pressure, which I don't have a lot of experience with interstage drive pressure, like this might be kind of on the normal side, but I feel like I want to loosen that up. If I can get that drive down interstage, I think I can help everything. I don't want to make it lazy to drag race though, that's my thing. I don't want to make this dyno queen that's great at that but sucks at everything else. Just another day at PDD, about 15, 17 to 1800 horsepower runs, no big deal. Dude, my guy, I feel that. I'm just over here like trying not to sweat it. It's nice that you got enough switches and stuff to hit that you're like worrying about it all. You're like, okay, it's good, floor it. You're not really realizing the pin on the grenade you're pulling.
Admittedly, guys, I'm still hiding behind the dumpster though, because I've worked here long enough. Let's be honest, I was here from day one. But I've been around enough of this that I've been around this long enough to know that anything could happen. I don't care if it has 20 successful pulls, the next one could have rods hanging out. We don't think so, because obviously we're not trying to be unsafe, but you never know. But it was this last one, we're going to gate a little atmosphere, and based on that drive, I'm guessing we're going to gain some power, maybe 1840 to the tire. What do you think, Myer? What's your guess?
Nah, dude, we're doing 18. Okay, here's. Let me pull up my best.
He's got to pull up his best run. We're hoping to get a new
Today.
PB today.
I gotta back all the way out of this crap.
Let's flip the screen around so we can see what you're doing here. Okay, your best run. And don't show them that you have 200 plus dyno pulls on this truck.
I don't. This one I don't have that many on. It? Nope. I don't know where the last. Watch, I'm just like completely misremembered everything I've ever done. 20. Oh, I guess I'm going too far back. There
It
we
said it
go.
only has 66 records.
Yeah, it's probably. That's probably right. I don't have that many runs on this.
So you've only done 66 dyno runs on this profile.
There we go. This is. So it's either this one, 1827.
1827.
Keep losing my spot.
That's it?
No, I said I keep losing my spot.
This is your 31 to 40 records right now.
1843, I think that's...
1843 and 2433 foot-pounds. That's your record.
And that's on the other engine.
Look at that. Other engine, and that's at 4,100 RPM. Big torque.
Yeah. I mean, not that crazy, but stock bottom end stuff, yeah. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. What's this one here? Oh, this is what we've been doing. Never mind. So we're only, I mean, 43. So what's my guess? 1843. So I'm gonna guess 1844.
1843 is your record, so this better do 1844 at the gate open to be a new personal best.
To be fair, I think I've done 1850s on the UCC dyno at like a Randy's competition dyno, but that was like 100 horsepower ago, and so the dyno just didn't read right.
So just goes to show you from dyno to dyno, there's variation.
Yeah.
You can take a 1700 horse tune here and sometimes at 18 on other people's dynos. And the other, there's one time well, I don't know if there's ever really
there was another time where the truck, everything was right. Like one time I was like way down on power and I figured out why. But like there's been times where I've been, you know, I made 100 more than what I thought I was gonna make, and I made 100 less. And I mean, you can kind of see, guys, like we've been doing gating changes, and within 30 horse, like I have a pretty good idea what the truck's gonna do when I put it on the dyno. And so for it to be 100 horse off, like probably just another day of that dyno bouncing around the Midwest. It is what it is. That's a dyno. That's why it's the same day.
So you need to come tune your screamer gate real quick, and then we can wrap this up. We're 2 hours and 30 minutes into this live stream.
Golly, brother.
Shad up here doing the Lord's work.
It's a rough job.
They used to call him our Lord and Fabricator when he used to fabricate for us because he has the look. We're not sacrilegious around here though.
Down in the chair.
We have gotten the PDD filter wet and lost power before. Oh, really? Maybe we should pull the filter off. It's a little wet. Hey, the filter's a little bit damp. Should we pull it off to make sure that's not the problem? Or do you not want to do that?
I don't want to throw off data.
Okay.
If I'm doing a Hail Mary, I'll take it off.
Did you get the gate all tuned? You ready?
Here you go. 2 turns out 1.
So 1843 is the record. So you got to get 1844. Okay. You think you have valve adjustment after this, Amy? Hey, that induction hardened head is going strong. Did you have a new prototype head? There's no valve seats in it's induction hardened.
Really?
Yeah, all integral. Total, like,
Perfect.
he's got a new PDD 6.7 crank in there that's ever been out on the market. Ford's crank, just doing like 5,000 RPM. I mean, the best way to test a new crank is to see if it works.
Yeah.
So,
Might as well try to hit 6.
all right, here's the final dyno pull. We're hoping for 1844 or better for a new personal record for Myer. I don't know, something didn't sound great.
I didn't hear anything. It was 1796 or something.
1796?
Yeah, so we're down.
Go back to the one just so that we have for documentation. People are going to think. It didn't sound as nasty to me, but can I really tell that 10 horse difference?
Might have opened way too soon, because that was the first time we've ever done both gates.
Did drive drop a little bit for you at least?
That's what I'm about to find out. Oh yeah, drive was way down. Drive was 84, boost was 75. Way too much gate.
Yeah, Kyle said it sounds fluttery.
Yeah.
Did Myer make that intercooler? Yes, Kyle, he did. Shad might be Diesel Jesus. Oh my gosh.
Dude, we call him the Lord Fabricator.
Kyle, I'd have upped the meth or Adderall if I was doing diesel tuning too. Dude's pupils or dinner plates. Are they talking about yours?
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, they could be. I mean, we're, like I said, Kyle says, is there a correction factor? Yes, Kyle, we're at high altitude. I think it was about 25% if I had to guess. So yeah, his best, that raw number, that was it, right? 14. Does that add the roll resistance and all the other stuff in there? Or is that the raw, what it measured from?
Yeah, that's raw.
So that's raw before it
Has
has the friction losses or anything it does in there?
So we gated too much.
Are you running mechanical or electric? It's electric fan. Can't imagine the stress of rapid disassembly. All right.
So do you want to back down the gate, or?
I mean, I think you could. We could do one more run real quick if you want.
I don't really care.
Do you want to listen, make sure that little noise isn't something weird? I couldn't tell if it was the turbo rattling or if there's a, it almost sounded like a tight, like if it had roller lifters, it almost sounded like a lifter skidding. No, under the hood I could kind of hear it afterwards. What is that noise?
I don't know. It's weird. Once you get to the exhaust, before you can hear it.
It kind of sounded. Once you pull lock, see if crankcase pressure looks good and everything. It just sounds a little different. What you got?
Belt down there.
Oh, belt's off. Is that just the belt touching, making a rub noise? Why don't you shut it down so we can hear as it winds down? Might be something not happening, guys. I don't know.
It almost sounds like something on the exhaust.
Yeah. Did your gate pipe crack or clamp come loose or something? Is this hot pipe clamp loose? That brace that runs should come off the flange there. So this big Bertha, is that?
Doesn't look like it. That's fine.
toasty.
Up there it was, down here it's not. So that looks good. I don't know.
It almost sounds like a vibration to me.
Yeah, it sounds like something's loose. That belt though, why is that off a hole there?
Ooh.
That's all on there. Is the crank? I didn't see the crank wobble or anything
I
weird.
wonder if that's from the tensioner, because the tensioner, it's like off on the tensioner a little bit.
Huh.
I didn't look and see if the
Oh, it is a little shredded. Look. On that edge
I didn't
there.
see if the tensioner was vibrating or not. I didn't look to see that.
It is a little shredded.
Yeah. But it's weird because it's only on the one side. Oh, this is still over. It's still where it needs to be on this side.
It's just down here on the. I guess that's just an idler pulley down there, huh?
Same as it was.
Any of the exhaust manifold bolts loose or anything rattling? Is there a plug rattle loose? Crankcase pressure's all the same, nothing.
Yeah, same.
It kind of sounded like when it rattled down, like something loose, like a clamp's rattling, or a hot pipe, or a brace.
It almost sounded like. I see a lot of.
Or is there like a loose bolt? Did something jar loose?
If one of like the. Internally, if one of those wastegates was like fluttering, would it make a noise like that?
There's a lot of things that are loose right now with all the crap that's going on with the big one.
Because the belt is off. I didn't see if the idler was moving.
Torque converter bolts can sometimes sound like a little bit, but usually it starts making more of a knocky,
Yeah, more of a tinny.
tingy sound.
Let me just straighten out the belt. We'll start. I'll idle it. I'm kind of like pretty done anyway, so I'll do it. I'll just pull the valve covers tomorrow. And it's all.
So maybe we'll send the stream. No more dynos, yes?
I think so.
Okay. All right, guys, we're going to just call it there because it doesn't sound perfect, and it could be just something loose. I mean, I don't think it's like a rocker arm loose or anything, but it's got, I don't know. It'll almost be like if you had a couple loose bolts in the cowl jiggling. It sounds like a loose bolt or rattle, and Myer wants to once over because how many freaking pulls this thing has on it. Just before, it doesn't have any blow by. He checked the log. The crankcase pressure's good, so I don't think the block's cracked. The only way I could describe the sound, you could probably hear it on the stream, was like, I don't know, I've seen when I watch like Street Outlaws or something when they have like a flat lifter on a roller lifter. Sometimes it'll make a little screech. So it kind of sounded like that at first to me, and when he shut off, I don't know. But the belt is off a little bit. So maybe a bearing in one of the idler pulleys is making noise. I don't know. But at this power level, you investigate before you go ripping on it. So good night, guys. We will catch you on the next one.
Yeah, I'll see how I'm fired up.